magnificent welcomes to Dragons in the Dining Room. This is DM Repin, and I am hosting Band of Wanderers Adventure in Ravnica. We're starting a little late, but deal with it. Here we are. Okay, well,
I heard a little bit of meat come out of there.
Let's jump right back in. Last we left off with our daring adventurers, we had sorry, I am actually very tired. I am trying to think real quick. Zeke was on a guild supported hunt for the Planeswalkers, which brought him to Sunhome. At Sunhome, a helpful Wojek captain directed him towards the Vidugazi, which is the world tree in the Selesnya conflict. Katarina and Kaylin were causing trouble for the local merchantry to get some free arrows.
It works.
It
I
works.
confused the ever-living crap out of the dude, so I got paid.
But,
Nope.
And then
I didn't know where I was going with any of that.
and then you go back and the goblin's sitting there crying and his business is closed and you ruin the family.
What? The guilt trip.
Fine.
It was worth 2 bundles of arrows.
I'm thinking of my children. The children he never knew about, I never met before.
And Hitika had taken a special assignment, and he's currently still on special assignment. And then we leave off back with the Planeswalkers of the group, which would be Xanthip and Andrast, who went back to the Blind Eternities with the guiding help of Lisa. And they end up back in the Shadowfell once again, where they discovered a creepy creature guarding the soul of their companion, Nine, lovingly referred to as 4.5 by Krabby Patty. Hello, Krabby and Brunt. Hello, guys. So they found Nine's spirit after defeating this horrible grave-walking creature, and after defeating it, Xanthip put up a Lumen's tiny hut and let Nissa regain her mana so they can planeswalk back to Ravnica. Nine's soul was brought back to her body, and she woke up to the immediate face of Zeke, the Metal Man, and that went great. Awesome. It's like it always does. So, okay.
Bring me a bag of goldfish.
What?
Bring me one.
Okay.
Where are we picked up?
Dex.
Unless,
Yes.
so, to Katarina and Kaylin for just a minute. Unless you guys have any other plans for the day, we're going to go to the next day.
I have plans for the evening.
Okay. Is it the plan I think it is?
Yes.
Okay.
I can text you specifically what I want in the.
That would be a good idea.
thing, so then I had to just copy and paste it to you. Because I specifically worked on trying to make it specific to how I wanted it.
Okay.
Myself.
All right. Kaylin, you have been brought. So you've been brought back through the Great Marketplace where you were.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that there are apartments just north in what's called the Canopy. Other large trees. It was brought to your attention while you were in the Great Concourse. You were brought there and you were given a small guest studio to relax for the night.
Cool. Is it just for the night?
For right now, it's just tonight, but you have a feeling that if you needed it longer, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
To review something here.
Probably.
Okay, great. I can actually go on that. So, okay, we'll do that later. Okay, so it is the next morning. Not that Xantha, not that you or Andras could tell that it's it.
Right?
Because in the Shadowfell, there's not morning nor night. It is just permanently gray. And you do, however, realize that the 8 hours of your spell are coming to an end as you start to feel the energies fade out.
I'm going to look at Nissa and see if she seems prepared for whatever she's going to do next.
She has spent the entirety of the 8 hours with if you guys aren't distracting her, in a soul meditative state, impressively.
I wouldn't bother her.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would not bother her.
Okay.
Same. I know that look.
Very, very slowly, as you glance upon her or look around, you can very slowly see small little black wispy tendrils rising from the ground and sort of floating into her at various points. You know, up through her arm, her leg, or her chest. She could see little black tendrils, and they're just wisps of smoke. Okay. Yes. So that 8 hours is gone. You guys are, for whatever purposes, long rested.
Okay.
So you guys have your spells and your hit points back. What mana are you both at?
Huh?
What's
What
your
mana?
count? Yeah.
0, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't anymore.
I have 1 black mana.
Okay.
0.
Okay.
0 for moi.
0 for you. This entire time you were resting, Xantha, you've got this new feeling inside you. It's not energetic, nor is it's hard to describe because you feel it there. It is like a dull presence, but it's not sentient. You can't speak to it. It doesn't speak to you. You just feel like you're sharing your body's energy with something else.
Okay.
What are you two doing?
I'm hyper. Leave me alone. I wasn't called naughty words today at work, so I'm like in a semi-good mood.
Wow, that's gotta be impressive.
Yeah.
Considering the words you got told yesterday.
Within the first half hour of my shift, it was great.
Oh, I'm so
Sorry.
sorry. That sucks.
Yeah, we don't need to go into details.
That's okay. I had this many paying customers today.
Oh,
It was a very long day.
I'm sure it was.
Anytime you hear a door.
Me? Hi. Me? You?
Hi, Poison Ivy Pika.
Skull had more visitors than I did. He had 2 people people come in to see him.
but no one to business at all. That
Yeah.
sucks.
That sucks, but at the same time, the boy gets more love.
Right?
He's happy about it.
Oh yeah. The one even brought him a artisan dog cookie.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh, fancy.
So, Nissa stirs from her meditation, and that kind of aura around her disappears, and she goes, "At some point in time, you will be able to control all types of mana, but you will only have a good sense of control over the ones you are naturally in tune with."
Sure.
Hi, Twisted.
And with
What's up, Dom?
So, she says, "I am adequately charged for the next step of this adventure."
Shocking.
And you have a feeling she would give you a disdainful look if she wanted to. Oh, that's who you met.
I feel like most people do that with Joe, though.
I'm speaking as Xanthip.
But even as Xanthip, I feel like most women will give him a disdainful look.
Hello, Xanthip, Nilo, Eric.
And Joe tends to play those characters. But I hope he doesn't look like he does the characters
Like Joe.
Now, Nissa puts her hands out again, kind of like she did before, and she offers a hand to both Xanthip and Andrest.
I will take her hand.
Sam.
Now, in the order that happened, we'll say Andrest does first. You can see a sense of surprise when you touch her hand, and then when Xanthip touches her hand, you can see a sort of relief, and she looks at between the both of you and she says, "I can feel the presence of mana within one of you, but not the other." She looks at Andras and says, "You will need mana to make this next trip not unpleasant. I can give you some of mine, but it's a type you're not familiar with. It may not be pleasant."
How am I supposed to draw mana then?
In a place like this, it's difficult, especially if you're not tuned to death type of mana. There's no...
I'm not that kind of cleric.
Do you remember what colors you saw? She's not asking, this is out of character. Do you remember what colors you saw when you touched?
I thought it was either
and white.
blue, huh?
Blue and white.
I was supposed to say, I thought it was blue and white. I was supposed to say it might have been green and white, but I was fairly certain it was blue and white.
Nissa asks you, when your soul connected to, or I'm sorry, not your soul, when your spark connected to Nines, what did you envision?
Huh?
That, how do you envision hot?
I don't know what element hot is.
Yeah.
Did you see any particular color?
I just said what I saw.
How's that feel?
I saw neon clear.
I saw all of the colors.
Probably black.
Purple.
I believe I saw both white and blue.
She has a look of understanding, and you're fairly, actually roll perception.
Is this any better?
For planes and
Yes.
It was a 7, not a 1. Don't even. Still bad, yeah. 13 or 16 with passive.
Xanth, you go ahead and roll too. Since
Perception?
you're all close. Yes.
That would be
Lifeline can cancel.
19.
Now, Andrast, you couldn't tell. You heard Nissa whisper something beneath her breath when you said you saw white and blue. Xanthip, you're fairly certain you heard her whisper disdainfully the word Teferi.
Ah. Okay. I'm just going to keep
So-
that to myself.
She says you will most likely connect with the open plains and sources of water, lakes, rivers, rainfall.
That makes sense.
You may be able to draw the energy of the open air here, but it may be difficult. There's more than likely no water here.
DM, you have advantage.
Sweet, thank you.
I want to try. Now that, we've rested and all of that, I want to try again.
Okay. What do you want to do? Describe it to me.
I want to focus on the place that Selune had taken me to
Okay.
and use that mental image to try and draw mana. And what is Peggy saying about me?
Okay. You get this mental image of that place that I cannot remember the name of now.
Oh no, you didn't tell me.
I did say otherwise.
You did? Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe I didn't.
I don't think you did.
Okay. As a devout follower, you would understand that Salune's home area is called the Gates of the Moon.
Yeah, you never mentioned anything about that.
Sorry, I thought I did, and I was kind of wrapped up on episode 1. You would know that that's called the Gates of the Moon, and you focus on that vision of Gates of the Moon, and you feel this sense of water. You feel an ever flowing sensation over your limbs. You realize you're searching, the way you're looking at it now, you're searching for a source of water, and you're finding nothing. You're getting no response. Do you want to try something else?
Just take a deep breath.
Can I try and focus more on, like, what she described with, like, open air?
Okay. Do you remember you guys are inside a cave right now? Unless
I
you
thought
guys...
we left the cave.
We left the cave. We're outside.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you did the tiny hut inside the cave, right?
No, I made sure we left so that thing wouldn't come back for us.
That's right, because you guys were worried that the Grey Walker would come back, or whatever it's called. Okay.
Animated armors.
So, no, I told you guys what it was last time. I just can't remember the name of it, because I'm super tired. So, alright, you're outside that cave. So yes, you look up and you see that darkness in the sky, that nothingness, but besides the gray, cloudy overcastness to it.
Mm-hmm.
As you look up, and let's say you do close your eyes, you can still sort of see the open air above you. It's stale. It's not the same as the air from your home plane or even in Ravnica, but it is sort of open where you are. You're in a rocky area with fog all around you, and there's nothing like buildings or nothing really in the way. You get this resounding connection to the ground for a moment, and you can feel, and it's rough. You have to hope that it's not always like this.
Gotcha.
But you get these little tingling pains as slight bits of energy sort of enter through your body, and you can see it's like a gray. It's white that is tainted black.
Mm-hmm.
And you now have 1 white mana.
Yay!
guys did rest. If you had exhaustion, you went down a level. Because I know you guys had at least 1 or 2 points. I can't remember where you're at.
1.
Okay. Andrast, because... Also, that is really gross. Andrast, because that was a painful thing for you, you will go up 1 exhaustion level.
So I'm back to
Back
2.
to 1.
No, I was at 2.
Okay, then you're back to 2 for now.
Okay.
Because you pulled bad mana from the area. It's a mismatch. So
And I said drawing mana from the toilet. And then Joe just went all gross.
Somebody had to do it first.
I hate you guys. If it wasn't you, it'd probably be Krabby.
That's right.
okay. That very first time you felt this way, you get that feeling again, but it's controlled. You feel like it's with you. You feel that connection to everything around you and beyond. So she once again offers her hands. I assume the both of you are going to connect.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You two begin this pulling sensation as you remember in original Star Trek when they started warp drive, it was like they kind of went out from where they were and then caught up.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, it's sort of like that. You can feel this, the area around you sort of distort backwards, and then you're into the floating black darkness again. And as you feel this, you guys are going very fast, unlike the first 2 times you've been here. You are traveling with speed through this emptiness, what you know as the blind eternities.
Do we hit 88 miles an hour?
87, 9.
However, as you're going, you hear the word engage.
I
You're a
need
ship for ludicrous speed.
I need both of you to make a perception check.
Do I see the vampire people that I flipped off?
No, you're already beyond the that place.
She rolled a 20. My God, it's full of stars.
Magic burst is on the table. I'll keep track of them.
Thank you.
Did you see a red blur running past you?
And I slapped it too.
I hope you would. I started rewatching season 1.
I rolled a 19.
14.
Okay. For the briefest of moments, Andrast, you're sort of taking everything in. I mean, it's not a lot to take in, but you see all sorts of little colorful bursts sort of fly beyond you. Xanthip, this is now. This entire 48 hours has been strange, and this is even stranger yet.
Outstanding.
You,
Thank you, Krabby.
ooh, nice roll. See, he does roll nice for his favorites. So, your attention is drawn to your left. Now you're still holding hands with Nissa, but you look. I know, I'm waiting for it. Hey, it's not bad.
Sinal has a 14 from Poison Ivy.
I have a 14 also, so
Mine was better.
That's how we do.
yours was better.
It's just how we do it.
Your attention, Xanthip, is drawn left for. You feel like you have all the time in the world to react, kind of like when Barry goes into that speed sense or whatever it is.
Yep.
You look to your left and you realize Nissa and Andrast are not. They're completely absorbed with what they're doing.
Okay.
And you have, in this darkness, there is a, almost as if it was a panel door moving, like a Japanese door.
Okay.
You can see some of the blackness move out of the way to this instantly, stark differently, white sort of bubble. And for just the briefest of seconds, coming through this bubble, you see a large golden dragon. And it continues to fly, and you guys are going fast, it's going faster. You think it looked at you for a second, and then it's gone. And with your perception roll, that you can tell the dragon had a feature that you have never seen on a dragon, if you've ever seen a dragon, besides in books or in tales. But it had horns on the front of its head, and you're pretty sure that they weren't just forward or outwards. They did some sort of loop.
Okay.
Oh, Krabby.
And you, as you pass this orb and it's slowly moving out of your sight, you are fairly certain you can hear a female's voice calling out, "If anybody can hear us, help." And then it's gone.
I'm going to say something to Nissa.
As you're going through the blind eternities, you go to start talking and you realize you're not producing sound.
Mental note.
And as you begin to do this, you guys find yourselves on the other end of the warp engine, and then all of a sudden you're back inside the tree where you do not see Zeke. No, you do see Zeke. I'm sorry. You see Zeke and Nine. And you guys, all three of you, appear into existence. Nissa appears through a green burst of what looks like leaves. And the two of you get to describe what you come through. But Xanthip, yours has to be colored in black and green. Black and or green. Andrast, yours has to be colored in white and or blue.
Okay. You go first.
It will look like, think of an Amazon type scene with vines hanging down, both black and green, just and falling down to the ground.
Okay.
Like a shower curtain just dropping down of black and green vines.
So you see the black and green vines, and Zeke, you're seeing all this. You see Nissa appear in leaves, like a little burst of phantasmal leaves. You see these phantasmal vines that are black and green, and they sort of come down and drop to the floor and disappear. And then, Andrast?
Mine is gonna be like a, oh gosh, I feel like so much pressure here.
Now.
If you absolutely want to think about it more, we can come back to like what happens here.
No, I got it.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a shower of white and blue forget-me-not.
Okay. So all three of you are somewhat nature themed. and then Zeke, you see
with moons. No, because hers is more stars. With stars. Yeah, with stars.
You see several starbursts and forget-me-nots in white and blue just sort of fall to the ground and disappear. And you're vaguely familiar with the idea of Nissa, though you don't talk to her or see her. But two more unfamiliar people. Actually, no, they are familiar because you saw them at the very beginning. They're back. All three of them are back. And you recognize the effect that you see to be planeswalking.
I look at them and I go, "Welcome back. I need to kidnap you now."
You wait on that.
Huh?
Nissa,
Yes.
a giant gold dragon with some strange loop on its head?
And her face instantly turns into, like, scorn. And she comes closer to you, and she sort of grabs you, and you're not maybe anticipating it.
Right.
And she says, "Are you sure you saw a golden dragon?"
Oh, more than that. I heard voices, too, asking for assistance.
Voices.
A female voice that said, "If you can hear us, help."
The golden dragon speaks in a male voice, a very deep male voice. Maybe you didn't see him then.
Oh, I definitely saw him. There is no question about that. He came out of some bubble and then flew past us. Big gold dragon with some strange Teletubby loop on his head.
If you're referring to who I think you're talking about, if you ever see him again, you must not trust him.
Well, not so much.
He may be one of the first planeswalkers ever, and he's millennia old. But he is not to be trusted, and we suspect he is up to something no good.
I'm not so much worried about him as all he did was give me an evil eye. I'm more worried about the female's voice that said, "If you can hear me, help."
I don't know who that is. We'll look into that. I don't really want to go talk to Jace, but I suppose I have to.
Jace, which one's Jace? He's the blue guy?
The narcissist in the blue robes.
I wouldn't know so much about narcissism. He did assist us.
You wouldn't?
Ow.
I feel attacked.
I have a dice bag. I can throw it at him if you wish.
No, I think I earn that once in a while.
Her face changes back to more pleasant, and he probably did help you. He's not the worst thing in the world, but ow. He's not the worst in the world, but he went back on a promise to me, and I don't know if I can forgive him for that.
Well, that's between you and him.
Oh, hey, by the way, Nine's there next to me.
Yeah.
Alive and upright, yes.
Yeah.
And Xanther chose to speak to Nissa first.
I'm sorry, but giant gold dragon, and I need help. I wanted to get that out of the way first. Now that that's out of the way, I'm going to look at 9 and ask, how are you doing?
I don't know. And she runs up to you, and in the middle of you talking to Nissa, she'll kind of interrupt you and grab onto you, and Xanther, I don't know. I'm very weak, and that feeling I had back in Iblis,
yeah.
When I was finding all the crystals and stuff, I fled again, but I don't see anything on the other end of it. I just feel that feeling again.
Well, at least you're not so holy anymore.
She shoots you a death glare.
Metal Man, leave the puns to me.
Let's be honest, leave the puns to 9.
Where did you go, Xanthiff?
To save your soul.
Huh?
You died.
And you see her expression change, and she pats around, and she's like, but how am I here?
Well, long story short, you were healed, but it wasn't enough to bring you back, so we went and got your soul from where it was, and now you're normal-ish.
My soul is gone?
Yeah, but we got it back.
Well, thank you. I don't know what I can say.
That's enough.
And she's sitting there thinking about it now. She's in contemplation.
Hey, Nissa.
Yes.
If you touch her, do you get the same feeling you got from me?
Nissa looks at 9 and, will you allow me? And 9 puts up a fight. Like she kind of tenses up and guards up.
Oh, don't worry about it, 9. She's just going to put her hand on you.
And okay. Nissa places her hand on 9, and within a mere moment, Nissa removes her hand and she goes, yes, she also has the spark.
Outstanding. So,
it's incredible that so many of you with the spark are suddenly here.
Well, I don't even know what the spark is. So, maybe this Jace character can help us understand it more, or you can help us understand it more?
In the very moment you say the word Jace, she's instantly she's kind of just, she's not,
She's salty.
yes, she's not upset with you in any way, but you say the word Jace and she kind of just
Instinctually.
puckers up a little bit, like she just, had some lemon juice.
Well, and that's why I said the other half. Or maybe you can?
As much as it pains me to admit it, he might be your best. He might be your best chance.
Jace.
You see her sort of get mad.
No, I don't do that in character.
I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna point and go, ooh. Shenanigans. Shenanigans.
She's like, if you guys are done here, please leave.
That was.
Well, it sounds like you have something urgent to take care of.
I need to prepare for my meeting with him.
Well, if he's going to be of assistance to us, then maybe we should prepare to meet him too.
About that, so I really need to kidnap you.
I told you can wait on that.
It's super important.
Why do you need to kidnap us?
Because my boss said that he needs to meet you, and last time I met him, he was like, if you don't do that, I'm going to zap you.
Okay,
And
so
it really hurt.
it's important to you.
Well, yeah, because he's going to hurt me.
Okay, only if you show up. If it takes you a while to find us, then you don't get hurt and we can still make this work.
He knows. He knows things. He knows. So he probably knows that I've already met you. And now he's probably going to be like, what's taking so long?
Did you tell him that you already met us?
Yes, but I went to go find you again because you disappeared.
So he knows that because you.
Who's your
him.
boss?
And I forgot to write it down. Raul Zurich.
Raul Zurich.
Yep.
I did write it down. I just didn't write it down
Well, Nissa, do you know this Rawls guy?
Raul Zurich.
Raul's all cool.
Rousing.
I like mine better.
Nissa, do you know this Rawls guy?
Yes, he is second in charge of the Izzet League, and they are. Excuse me. My mic's gonna cough.
I said, ooh, I'm glad to find the light.
Okay. She says, Raul Zarek is second in command of the Izzet League, and if Jace has an ego, they have an ego beyond. They
Okay.
believe they are the technological saviors of Ravnica, and that their technology belongs in every home and marketplace.
Interesting. So, how about this? Metal guy, what is your name?
I told you last time it was Zeke, but then you I'm just gonna go disappear.
Well, I had something important to take care of. So, Zeke, how's this work for you?
Thank you, Loxy.
Thank you, Loxy. How's this work for you, Zeke?
Mine's
Nissa,
okay.
let Jace know that we're going to go follow Zeke to talk to this Ralzeric guy, and we need to talk to
And
Jace.
when you say that, she sort of chuckles and she's like, Jace and Ral aren't exactly on great terms themselves.
Oh, good. Then that gives us even better of a chance of exiting Ral's presence without any troubles if Jace doesn't want us there. See, works out.
Ral has tried to kill him more than once.
Outstanding. This could be fun to watch. But one way or the other, I want to get this guy out of my hair, and if all we got to do is talk to this Ralzeric guy, that'll work. And I still want to talk to this Jace character and figure out more about what the spark means to us.
Okay.
The spark gives you chills. It's electrifying.
Hello, Marcy.
Hi.
I'm losing control locks.
She's out of the room.
Aw.
So, all right, Zeke, let's go for a walk.
It's gonna. Well, so I have a horse, but I have to bring back to Sunhome, so we have to go there first. And also, this 9 person here, she's okay. It's scary sometimes, but we're working on it. She wants to be on a horse too.
When she's into a horse. Horses.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, let's get this over with because we have more important things to do.
Good, because I could always use money. Hopefully I'm going to get paid for this, and not zapped by a lightning bolt again. 'Cause ow.
All right.
So, briefly, we go back to the morning before this happened, and Katerina, you realize that you're sort of alone at the moment in your Verdati. I mean, there's people there, but as far as people you know, Hitika's gone, and your new friend Kaylin's at the apartments.
Yep.
So, Yennefer walks up to you during your morning chore, and she says, "So, what about that, have you learned any more about the impaled woman?"
She's awake.
She is. That's impressive.
Missa went with the other two and apparently found her soul.
Interesting. Her soul. What do you know about that?
Only what I've heard.
Well, I have been speaking. I've heard the call from. Sorry, I had to look at that name because I forgot.
Whenever it's done.
I've heard the call from Tristani, and you being a recent implant, you still know Tristani is a fused version of 3 dryads. And the 3, they share a singular body, but it's 3 different dryads. And they are the guildmaster of the Selesnya. They decide. Tristani communicates with what you know as the world soul. According to the Selesnya, the world soul is the world soul is. I have a better description for this. Where did the description go? Okay, I lost my description. But basically, it is the world soul is what understood the Selesnya as the will of the planet, and it exists in every plane on every planet. You understand that the founder, Matt Selesnya, who started the Vidu Ghazi and started the Conclave, Matt claimed to be in contact with the world soul, and Tristani was formed from the remains of Matt and the 3 dryads that make up Tristani. Supposedly, and according to the faith of the Selesnya, Tristani speaks with the world soul's intentions.
Right.
So you can't really get higher in authority than Tristani. So Yennefer speaks to you and she says, "I have been in audience of Tristani, and she really believes we need to keep tabs on the few that you brought to the world. We don't suspect that they're dangerous, but it's better to know their intent. It's better to keep them in check. We we don't feel like they present a danger, or else they wouldn't be here. But we'd
From
like
what-
you. Sorry.
From what I've met of the one that didn't claim swap, she seems pretty nice.
It. She probably will too at some point. They all come from a different plane of existence, and they seem to have a strong connection to the world soul's ley lines.
Okay.
I suggest, since you're very good at scouting, you should follow them and not necessarily report back. I'm sure you'll come back as often as you can. But since you were kind of in line to becoming a Sagittarian, which you recognize as the role of the trained archers, why don't you do this, and we'll see about getting you enlisted as a Sagittarian.
Okay. I can do that.
So, with well wishes, she says, if you want to pack up anything before you leave, head to Vidugazi.
Okay. Yep, and I'll just go back to my apartment, pack up the stuff that I need. Like,
Okay.
that I have.
Yeah, anything on your character. So.
Yeah.
Okay. You pack up your belongings for a moment, and you're not leaving the building, but you're getting your stuff to go.
Right.
You don't know how long this will take you. So, okay, then, without further ado, you would be walking towards Vidugazi, the world tree.
Okay.
So, we go back to everybody in the same room now. What are you guys doing?
Oh, like I said, I want to go for a walk with Zeke here and get whatever his project is out of the way.
Alright, Zeke, it sounds like you're in charge.
So, gonna go to the horse, retrieve that, thank the guards for watching it, or wherever stables or whoever was watching it. And then I'm going to head to Sunhome to drop the horse back off so I don't get billed.
Okay, we're gonna stop before you leave Vidugazi. We're gonna stay here at the horse.
Okay.
It seems like, oh no, I'll just do this character. So, as you guys leave the tree, Xanthip and Andras, do you recognize that brief moment that you got to see the, sorry.
Please hold. Your game is important to us.
It was great. As you said that, you kind of lagged, and it was like,
You recognize Katerina from the brief moment that you saw her. She's got her bow slung on her back, and she looks like she's ready to adventure. She is walking down the wooden steeped path towards the tree as you guys reach sort of the outside plaza. And she's sort of, not to speak for her, but she'll sort of, hail you guys as she approaches. Yeah, she puts her paw up. So, Katerina, if you want to take over for a second, you are approaching.
Hey! You guys are back. I heard that you got mine back.
That we did.
Where are you going now?
Apparently this guy needs to kidnap us.
Kidnap you?
Yeah, kind of odd. He requested to kidnap us, so it's not so much a kidnapping as we're going voluntarily to get him out of our hair.
Okay.
Or at least that's
what
my
about
plan.
Katerina, or what about the other one that was with you that I stayed with yesterday?
Mine or Kaylin?
Halen.
I don't know where Kaylin is.
Not a clue.
Oh, I was going to mention it as 9 if Katerina did. You guys are forgetting a party member.
Not a clue where Caitlin is.
I didn't forget about her.
She was with you the last we saw.
So where are you guys actually going to go? Because I could go get her and meet you guys there.
Zeke?
we are heading to. I literally had it, and I was like, "This is where we're gonna go," and I was like, "Wait, do Sunhome first. Okay, then we can go here." And it's like,
So we're going to Sunhome first?
"Yes, Sunhome. There you go."
Final destination, because it might take me a minute to walk and get her, because she's in the apartments that are on the other side of the street.
Yeah, you realize to get to the canopy from Vidagazi would probably take you about 20 minutes.
Right. So unless you guys want to wait, I can run and get her real quick. I'm pretty fast.
I don't mind waiting. Kaylin's pretty fast as well.
Okay, well I can just run and get her, and then I'll meet you back here. Then obviously Nine's snuggling up to the horse, so then she can get more time with the horse.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll run and get her.
You guys will collectively have to wait about a half hour while she goes quickly to get Kaylin, and they return.
That's fine.
Killer. So
That's fine.
Okay.
I do too.
So 15 minutes have passed, and Kaylin, you hear a rapping on your doorway.
knock, 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 knock.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Awfully Minnesotan of you.
Did you open the door, or are you gonna make me talk through
No,
it?
I'm gonna open the door.
Okay. So your friends are back, and Nine's back, and we're gonna meet them. So we need to go.
Okay. I'm gonna pretty much gather, because I just came here, and I'm gonna grab the bow that Katarina gave me, and the staff, considering those are the only two things I own.
Yeah, you're going with your light adventuring stuff.
Yep,
Maybe
including
like the board.
the free arrows I got.
For destroying that goblin's career, yeah.
Yay!
You realize, Kaylin, you're a bit peckish. You haven't eaten in a while.
Oh crap.
Is there any food? Like, can we grab something on the way? I'm kind of hungry. I haven't eaten since we got here.
Why don't we grab something after we grab your friends?
Okay, sounds
Because
good.
we're only about 20 minutes away.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I can give you some jerky, but it's not very good.
I can wait a little bit longer.
If you're a fan of like vegan options, the canopy does have plant-based foods that are easy to grab.
Can I
I'm
get
not a
some
cat.
Miracle Grow?
I go outside the thing because I'm a cat. Sorry.
I may be a wood elf, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna help.
Yeah, Kaylin, you can see as you leave, there's like a miniature continental breakfast available, and it's mostly leaf-based products.
Oh, food! That's not food.
I shall make an impossible whopper.
Excuse me, you've given me the food my food eats.
They skipped a step. They missed a step in that process.
Yeah, all I'm seeing is the food that my food eats, so...
See, I mean, the jerky's better than that. I mean, I could give you some jerky. The jerky's better than that.
Wait, go ahead and grab breakfast. We'll use it to snare rabbits.
Yeah, and Nina, you realize that, I mean, your proximity to the Beast Haven, there's a lot of animal byproduct that you know, with the amount of animals there, some of them are slaughtered for food.
And I'm a hunter, so.
So you would, in your provisions, you would have some dried salted meats with you.
What? I win?
I won!
Okay.
You said you were gonna do it anymore. I know.
15 minutes will pass, and you guys have all reconvened, and for the first time in 3 episodes, all of you are together.
Woohoo!
Just 9 reciprocates.
I'm gonna run away.
I was thinking of tackling her, and then I thought, no, that's a bad idea. She was just impaled.
She's recently mortally wounded.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't tackle the recently mortally wounded one to the ground.
Probably not a good idea. Let's not go on this adventure again.
Like you'll see the facial expression of tackle hug. Wait a second.
Maybe not.
Maybe
She-
not. Wait a second.
She reciprocates, and Kaylin, it's good to see you.
Yay! I'm so glad you're okay.
Me too. Apparently Xanthip saved me.
Not just me. I had help.
And Andras. Okay, you're all together.
Yay!
Everybody is in this area. Nissa is not. It's the 5 of you plus 9, and Hitika is still gone.
We are moving on. Right, Zeke?
We need to get
We are going
food.
to Sun Home, and then we'll get some food.
I want food first.
We can get food on the way.
If you want really good meats, you want to go to Sun Home.
Definitely don't remember what they were offering there. Do you want rabbit food or real food?
I want real food.
Okay, then we should wait till we get to sun.
Okay.
Unless here, I'm gonna give her a piece of my dried meat just to tide her over.
She offers us a piece of dried jerky. It's, for the most part, flavorless, but it's substance.
It'll stop your tummy from rumbling. I can hear it from here.
Thank
It will
you.
stop you from getting mad at me for having hiccups.
It may take the hanger down a little bit. Just hangry.
I get hangry really easily.
It also occurs as this talk of food happens at Xanthip and Andras. You guys are kind of hungry too, especially going through your ordeals.
I'm going to wait until I see some sort of bakery or food shop as we're traveling towards Sunhome because I want to get this stupid thing over with because this metal man is bothering me.
Okay, so like 10 minutes into walking, I want to walk up to this metal man. Are we there yet?
Well,
If you do that, I'm going to do something you're not going to like.
considering there are 6 of you and 1 horse, you have to walk.
Yep.
And to
We put
walk,
9 on the horse.
what's that?
We put 9 on the horse.
Okay.
Yeah, 9 should go on the horse.
For more than one reason, I agree. So, okay. Well, you guys, I mean, Zeke, you understand traveling with a party of 6. Going from Vidugazi to Sunhome is going to take probably about 2 hours.
Yeah, since I don't have additional horses. Also, I'd probably put 9 on the horse since she was recently injured and I only healed her for like.
The party already agreed to put 9 on the
We
horse.
already said to put her on your horse, so you just didn't get an option.
I'm going to play my lute as we walk.
It's strange because the people who know you, being Andras and Caitlin, you do not recall Xanthip ever being this musically talented.
Well, we knew he could play, but
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, he was talented, but this is like past allure.
Did
Like,
you, so question that, when we were traveling to Ravnica, did you absorb allure or something?
Allure
my
is
God,
missing.
He ate her and absorbed her powers. Oh my god.
I've always been this good. I just didn't want to show off in front of Allure.
Sure.
Carl, insight?
You certainly can't, 'cause that is a lie.
Two. Okay.
Dirty 20?
Should I roll myself a deception then?
You go ahead, because you are lying.
Okay.
We both got dirty 20s.
I got 23 on my deception.
Ah!
I have a plus 10 to deception.
Can we get advantage though because we know him?
So, yeah, go ahead. You travel with him enough. Go ahead and roll one more time.
Roll wars.
I did. But I mean,
I know! It had this from crack still. So that puts mine at a 22.
I rolled a 23.
So here's what happens. He says this to
Did you
you.
use your 14?
Did he have one?
Yeah.
yeah, he had a 14. Didn't
No.
he use that instead?
No, he didn't. No, he
He
didn't.
didn't have a 14. We have 14s.
That's right. Never mind.
Okay.
No, Nina had a 16.
It was
Nina had an 18.
Oh,
That's right, yes. Yes, you did.
you did?
You had a 16. Those two had 14s, and Nina got an 18 for poison ivy.
Yep.
I still don't believe you. Poison, I didn't even see it.
So it is a very, very tough, like a very close call. You're not entirely sure that Xanthip's telling the truth, but you have to believe that he did have some talent to begin with.
Well, we knew he had some talent. We just didn't think it was that good.
Despite lying or not, it is strange. It is strange because
Yeah.
so if you he's like he went from like a first year musician to like a fourth or fifth like instantly.
Well,
Instead of looking around for his chords, he's playing with memorization.
That and did any of his because we came in with no armor, didn't we? Like if
you guys came in with like traveling clothes.
Okay. Does his clothes look any different?
No. He didn't suddenly get bardly clothes.
Yeah, and I did. I went from practicing chords to doing freaking Iron Maiden overnight.
You are what training musicians dream of.
Right.
Okay. So, excuse me, I'm gonna block my camera. To get Zeke, you realize you have two paths. You know that they're clamoring about food. You might want to bring them. I don't know how well you can see this from here, but you might want to bring them through the northern path, which goes through the Transguild Promenade. There's lots of shops along this line. This is you and Katerina both know the Transguild Promenades goes from north to south through the entire 10th district, and it along with the Chamber of the Guild Pact are, if you guys are familiar with the Sanctity in John Wick, how the hotels are safe, you guys know being in the promenade or being in the Chamber of the Guild Pact is safe, sanctuary ground. No guild politics, even to the point of assassinations, can occur in this area. Violence will still happen. There'll still be fist fights, and there will still be whatever. But the guilds are not supposed to enact anything, subterfuge or not, in this area. And there are shops and stalls lining the whole thing. So if you guys go otherwise your option is just straight west from here through one of these walls over a bridge to somewhere, which has less shop variety on the way. North path will take about 2.5 hours. The west path will probably take an hour and a half.
Oh, you humans and your urges to eat. I guess we can go through the promenade. Yeah, promenade.
Sounds like an idea.
He will describe what I just described for you guys. I will take that for him.
On top of that, as I'm describing this, I go, so who actually has money from this realm?
I don't need money. I can earn it with my songs.
I will pull out what coin I have. Listen, you know, put the work in.
So what do you have on your sheet?
Me?
Yes, you. You said you pulled the money.
43.
Okay. Yeah. When she pulls out her, are you showing Zeke and okay? As Zeke and Katerina, you lay your eyes on her coinage. It is unfamiliar. It is gold mint that is neither Azorius nor Boros nor Orzhov.
I look down and I go, yeah, that's going to get you a whole lot of nothing. Maybe you can split into some pretty jewelry. That's about as far as that's going to get you.
However, both of you
That you can trade it in.
Both of you are aware, because of the recent adjoining of Ravnica to the multiverse, there are institutions which will do trading. They will trade foreign currency
Not
for.
like her anyways. Someone has a bow that I bought her. And a set.
I love it.
That's good. You needed one, just in case. I don't want,
guys, the two of you realize that quickest way for you to convert your funds are going to be going to a minting or a shop in the Boros area, because you're in Boros territory once you hit Sunhome. If you wanted Orzhov coins, you'd have to go very far away, and if you want Azorius coins, you'd have to go even further.
Well, I suppose while we're walking, I would be keeping an eye out or tell Zeke to keep an eye out for, as he's more familiar with this place.
For what are you looking for? Currency trading or food?
Currency trading first.
Roll percentile.
$91. Wait, is that a 6 or a 9?
61?
No, it would be 601.
Oh, so it's 91? Is it really 91?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay. Now, so Zeke, she said look out for coin traders. You know it's not common. There's not a stall or a shop set up to do that. You would do it likely in Sunhome or around Sunhome. However, as you guys are looking around, there happens to be a horse-drawn cart, like a food truck almost, and it's just there on the side in the promenade.
It's magically appeared since someone rolled a 91.
And it is a currency exchange trader. He has all three of Ravnican currencies there.
I look at him and I go, so you're gonna take your money, you're gonna go to him, he's gonna give you some money, probably. I'm not really good at talking. I'm usually just really good at the inventing. So this is
I'm
gonna be
going to
all you.
ignore him at this point and start walking towards the
Is
Okay.
there a way to get shot by lightning?
I'm gonna walk with her because I know Katarina had mentioned about the money exchange when we had gone to Sunhome.
Okay. Xanthid?
I have no money.
Okay. Okay, you guys approach, and he's handling one or two customers right now, and they hand over plain, light leather brown sacks to him, and he opens them up and he's counting, and very quick, his fingers are just running through. And why don't I get a perception from the two of you approaching the cart? Andrest.
15.
Kaylin.
16.
Okay. You guys are approaching the cart.
I'm not too far behind them.
Okay. Nothing.
I don't want them to completely stop.
Okay. Nothing too strange is happening. It's just what they see. I gotta find a good page. You see. I should really start tabbing this.
That's what I did with Mad Mage because I started tabbing each level so I could more readily turn to where the map is.
The two of you, as you approach the cart, as you look around, you can see a couple of these symbols in the cart.
Star Trek?
Nope,
No,
it's
that's
a
not
indicator,
Star
it's a
Trek. That's
symbol.
Star Wars. That's the Millennium Falcon.
I know.
It's this black and white star-shaped symbol.
Joe.
That made my brain hurt. Don't even.
No. I'm sure you heard from Gandalf that your father was the king of Gondor.
Since apparently Zeke is hanging back a little bit, Katarina, if you're getting closer, you immediately recognize the symbol if you see it as Orzhov, which would bring, depending on how you feel about Orzhov, it would bring that feeling to you because they are ravenously hungry for money, and they are also the second largest religion in the city.
Ravenous hungry for money, so they're going to screw them?
Why don't you listen in and see what happens? Okay. So you see a very finely dressed and robed, middle-aged man, balding hair.
And there's lots of coin on this thing. I will definitely make my approach.
Okay. Yeah, you see 3 different divisions inside the cart. And again, you see that same symbol in there. You also see the Boros red fist symbol. And you now see another symbol, which you have not seen yet. To the right, so the Orzhov symbol is in the middle. The Boros icon is to the left, and to the right, you see this symbol. Katerina?
That one we've seen before.
Yes, that one was on the mages who showed up at the end of the fight with Lavinia.
Yep.
Katerina, you recognize that these are the 3 common mints of the city. Of the 10 guilds, 3 guilds mint their own coinage. You realize that as big of a deal as the DM is making about this, having one type of coin is usually accepted by everybody everywhere. But certain, like if you're deep in Azorius territory, they would prefer Azorius coin. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, you recognize that these are the 3 mints of Ravnica: the Azorius mint, the Boros mint, and the Orzhov mint.
I need to trade in some gold dragons.
Oh, if you're from off-plane.
Yes.
Welcome to Ravnica. How did you get here?
We destroyed another world to get here.
You destroyed another world as you approach, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yes.
You destroyed another world, huh? That's quite a feat. I hope you don't do the same to us. I quite like it here.
As long as you don't put an ultimatum in front of me, you should be fine.
An ultimatum? I don't know what you're talking about. We don't do that sort of thing.
Then you're fine.
Katerina, are you listening actively?
Yes.
Without even rolling, you know, or he's bullshitting.
Yeah, he's bullshit.
How about my 17 insight?
You have a feeling he's not trying to play you for a fool, but he's trying to take advantage that you're new to the city and don't know the established opinion of the Orzhov. So, gold dragons, that's from which realm is that again?
Is it worth coin here?
Well, it's all worth coin.
Then how about the conversion rates?
Doesn't it? Oh my gosh, okay.
Doesn't what?
Sorry. No, well, I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay. How much gold dragon do you have?
I have 43 gold pieces.
43 gold dragons. Okay, let me see. And he pulls out a pad, and this is unfamiliar. It is bound paper in a notebook. You guys are used to parchment and you're used to books, but you're not used to what we would recognize as a notepad, like a small version of paper. And he brings out an ink and quill and he starts scribbling into it, and he's looking through other pages. 43, you said?
Yes.
Okay, well, which mint would you like? We have 3 here in the city. We have the Azorius mint, we have the Boros mint, and we have the Orzhov mint taken everywhere.
That was really sketch. Peppermint.
In the Ozova we trust.
Ozova.
When it comes to money, trust no one.
The Orzo like that opinion. Maybe you can be of use to us.
Sitting next to these two listening to this, because I had walked up too, I'm going to look back at Katarina like, help, I have no idea what I'm doing.
You see a concerned look, Katarina.
Yeah.
Now, DM, remind me. Boros is where, like, the sun home is, correct?
Yep, when you guys get to Sunhome, you will be... Sunhome is the capital of Boros territory.
Nine was originally healed. Like, got the thing pulled out of her by the Garagoos or whatever.
Right?
When you guys originally landed in Ravnica in Precinct 4, Precinct 4 is home to the Gruul, the Izzet, and Boros.
Okay, and what was the other one you said? Azorius?
Are you saying that in character?
No.
Okay,
How do you
yeah,
pronounce it?
Azorius, yes.
Okay, and do I have any knowledge of where those are located?
The only single piece of information you have about Azorius is people bearing their symbol showed up at the end of the Gruul raid to help control the situation with the Boros.
Okay. In that case, I am leaning more towards the Boros mix.
Is that in character?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, how droll. The Boros Mint. It'll only get you so far. Are you heading to Sunhome or something?
Yes, we are.
Okay, then that makes sense. Well, the Boros coinage, there are two types, and he shows you one's a little bit bigger than the other. They're both gold, but one is printed with a 1 on it, and one is printed with a 5. And he says they're called Xenos, and they come in 1s and 5s for the Boros Mint. They don't deal in anything less than gold. So you have 43 dragons. I will give you roll a charisma check. Okay, roll insight.
What the heck? Insight is 11, passive of 16.
Okay. He says, I can offer you 28 gold Xeno for that.
You know, my good sir, that's 43 gold, and they deal in gold. I don't see how our gold can be worth less than that gold. I have a sneaking suspicion you might be trying to pocket an extra bit or so.
No such luck, sir, but you're coming to me to exchange your useless coin into useful coin, isn't that correct?
Gold is gold, is it not?
No, it is not. A Xeno is different than a dragon.
It's just got a different mint. Can you not change this gold into a Xeno?
I can't change it into a Xeno, but we will reprocess the material.
Ah, so you can use it, so it's worth more than 20 gold.
Roll persuasion.
25.
You had to let it be hard.
I suppose you do drive a point. Okay. New offer. I will give you 38. Wait, you said you had 43, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I will give you 38 gold Xeno for your 43 dragons, and only take my modest fee instead of my first timer's fee.
You know, you are a very generous and noble benefactor.
He smiles when you say noble, almost to a creepy degree.
Okay.
I will accept the offer of 38 gold.
Okay. If you want to identify somewhere in your money, just put a B for Boros.
Okay.
I want to stress as a DM here to everybody, I'm making kind of a big deal out of 3 mints, but just as long as you know what you have, because 90% of the time it'll be accepted, but sometimes it won't.
That's fine. And they were called what again? Right, Xenos?
Phenos, yep. And he explains currency is just called Zibs and Xenos. Only the Boros, only the Azorius use Zib. Boros and Orzhov use Xenos only, except for copper olives, but those are given out to the poor.
And how does one get themselves a position on currency exchange?
Well, my friend, being new to the city, you would have to make a trek into, you're talking about our exchange, you'd have to make a trek to the Orzhov territory, which I will tell you in just a second.
No nap time.
You would likely have to take a trip to the Viscopa Bank, and the Viscopa Bank is going to be in Precinct 1. And he, generally speaking, he points to the south. He just says, it's a long way away from here. The Viscopa Bank is going to be half a day or more's travel across the entire 10th district from here.
Huh. And beside the Viscopa Bank, are there other banks in this city?
Well, if you're talking about the Savage Boros, they have mints located in or around Sunhome. And the Azorius print their money at New Prov.
Thank you for that information.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you for your assistance in our coin conversion.
And he points to the, he says, fine lady, and he's speaking to Kaylin. And he's, I thought, did you have something to do as well?
Yes, I'd like to do the same exchange as my friend Andres.
And how much do you have to exchange?
43.
Exactly?
Yep.
And he shoots kind of a dirty look at Xanthip, knowing he can't get away with trying it again. 38. I will give you 38 for that too.
Thank you.
Okay, so both of you have 38 Boros gold Xenos, and those are in the forms of 1s and 5s. It doesn't matter. You just have several of both.
I'm going to offer my hand to him, as if to shake.
He will gladly take it, and his hand is cold.
Is it clammy
It's cold and clammy.
and disgusting?
All right. I will shake his hand, and all right, Zeke.
And as your hands connect, his eyes sort of shift, and he looks at you, and he goes, "You may be of use to the Orzhov. I would strongly suggest taking a trip to Orzhova, the Citadel."
I will find my worth in time. Thank you for the suggestion.
You give me an insight.
That would be a 19.
You're fairly confident he's picked up on maybe not the spark, but something about you.
Right. Which is why I answered the way I did.
A different type of spark.
Oh, he's got soft eyes now, doesn't he?
Are you uncomfortable, Ange? Then I am playing the character correctly.
Because you started talking, and the reason why we were reacting the way we did is because you started talking, and I instantly went, he's speaking like Littlefinger.
My brain immediately went, no!
That's exactly kind of what I thought you were thinking too. It wasn't Littlefinger inspired, but I'm glad it made you think that.
It just makes me even more.
Do you want to know why they call me Littlefinger? Alright. after that exchange, taking about 10 minutes, you guys have another hour and a half travel to reach Sunhome.
I'm still looking for some food services to stop by.
I was about to say, your stomachs are beginning to pain.
I am looking all over for food. Like, you guys have all seen me in the grocery store when I'm hungry, right? Oof. I'm immediately like, where's the nearest food that I like or could eat right now?
I'm taking you to Sunhome, but I don't feel these pains because we're forged.
I will deny you oil.
Oh, you can see her. Yes, you can. You can see her in the back of Zeke's camera. She can't hear you.
I know. Yeah. All I saw was a Roomba.
She's like, I'm not listening to you.
Who are you? Who are you, middleman?
There you go.
Nice stop. Wait, you butt. Lisa, you're
Yes.
okay.
She's becoming a Dragons in the Dining Room star.
Right?
Wait,
Another-
has the camera seen Lissa yet? I don't think so.
Yes.
Yeah, you several times in Mad Mage you pointed it back towards her.
That's right. They haven't gotten to see the full unleashed psychoness yet, though.
No, but we did get to watch as a certain young lady got attacked by her puppy.
Oh, yeah.
There's a clip of Rue attacking me, the power of Boop.
Nice.
So, okay. Okay. Sorry, the dog distracted me, like, severely. Okay.
I want to look out the window.
Yes, she likes to stand up and look out the window.
What is Ranger? Ranger likes to do that too.
Yeah, I have nose art all over my one window.
Okay, yeah, you guys don't have trouble. I'm not going to make you roll for it because they're sparse, because the Transguild Promenade's made for travel, but there are little shops and stalls set up along the way. Finding someone who sells food is not a difficult task. Within the next few minutes of traveling, you guys can find a variety of foods. You can find breads and cheeses and not leaf-based food, but plant-based food like corns, tomatoes, kebabs, stuff like that.
Ooh, I want chicken teriyaki kebab.
Probably not teriyaki, but a chicken kebab is something you could find. And a lot of what you see is more advanced food than you would normally get. Say even in Waterdeep, where they just cook meat and they cook vegetables, but a lot of this is well prepared food.
Yeah, and I wish to roll to see if I can find a chicken teriyaki kebab.
You can roll, but I'm going to say teriyaki doesn't exist.
Sorry.
I want chicken. Actually, if there's
I want a chicken teriyaki kebab.
I want chicken teriyaki kebab.
I rolled a 92, so I found a chicken teriyaki kebab.
You find chicken and it's sauced, but it's not teriyaki.
I'm going to find the nearest wagon. Rather than an established restaurant, I want to find a street peddler.
You won't find a restaurant. There's no buildings in the promenade. It's just a big walkway.
Okay, I want to find a street peddler that looks like they're a little bit down on their luck.
That I will have you roll percentile for, please.
I want to find a
Oh
taco
gosh.
truck.
No, Joe, you are looking for the Chinese food truck that was down in Carthage. It was literally run out of an RV and it was super, super, super sketchy, but they had like the best food.
I rolled a 74.
Okay.
It was
If you haven't found one, but you feel like you probably could if you continue traveling, your party wants to find the nearest food. It's up to you if you want to try to keep traveling.
I want to look for one that looks a little bit down on their luck.
Okay. So, Kaylin and Andras shoot off to the first stand with chicken food. And you guys see Katerina and Zeke, you see Xanthid continuing forward, just kind of searching. What are the two of you doing? Everyone's kind of split up a little bit.
I will probably go with him because he seems to be the leader of the party. And I'm gonna walk up to him and be like, "So what you doing?"
I'm looking for free food.
How you gonna do that?
Watch. Just don't stand too close. Watch from a distance.
Well, really, because a lot of people like to stare at me, and then usually when they stare at me, that draws crowds.
Yeah, I want to draw a different type of crowd.
Okay. Amaze me with your amazing amazement.
I hope to.
He starts just shredding.
Katarina, you said you're gonna stick with the girls?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys realize that Zeke and Xanthip are walking off talking to each other, and Katarina stays near you.
Yeah, whatever. We'll let them. We'll let them
Um,
man bond.
Yeah, they can man bond.
Yeah, the two of you find food, and this particular food, I wouldn't call it fancy, I'd call it moderate. To pay for both the meals, it'll cost 1 Xeno. One of you can pay 1 Xeno.
I will pay. Do you want food as well, Katarina?
Yeah, I will eat.
I will make sure. I will spend 2 Xeno.
Perfect. Spend 2 Xeno, and the three of you get a very large amount of food to walk with.
Yay!
We have a food, but you know, he's doing his own thing, so.
And now we need to find elephant ears and cotton candy.
Yeah. I want the taffy. I want the saltwater taffy.
I want the curds.
I want the curds.
Ooh,
Ooh. I go
This prepared chicken is delicious. You guys have only had food that compares to this a couple times. It is flavored intensely and wonderfully.
teriyaki.
Teriyaki!
if you use your imagination.
Are you guys gonna sit and eat or walk and eat?
We'll walk and eat.
It's
Ooh, nice
you're
pillow.
supposed to. Yeah. Ooh, wait, grab the other one.
It's designed to walk and eat, but I didn't want to know. I want to know if you guys want to stay behind or not. Oh, well, that's nice. I like that.
We'll keep the guys at least visual, but not too close.
Zeke and Xanthip, about 2 minutes of walking. Xanthip, you find let's call it a mark.
Perfect. I am going to approach said mark.
Okay. You see a humanoid figure who is blue in skin, and he talks somewhat calmly, and he has no customers. He is selling what looks like to be plant-based food, but it's not like Celestian plant-based food. It looks like it's grown a different way.
Okay.
It smells delicious. It doesn't smell like salad.
He's
Have
selling
you-
celery teriyaki.
Have you had trouble with business today, good sir?
Yeah, I wonder if this business is cut out for me.
Has he got a good like?
How about we help each other here real quick?
What can you do for me?
Well, I'm a little bit light on coin and I'd like a meal. What if I brought more people to your stand?
My friend, are you from Ravnica?
No.
Then you do not know what I am, do you?
Nope.
My kind are called Dildalkin, and we tend to not bet on the side of hyperbole. I will need to see this in action, and if you do happen to bring me some business, then maybe I'll consider giving you some food.
So you're saying it's a deal so long as I can prove myself true?
And how do you how do you propose to do such a feat?
And with that, I'm going to take my lute out and I am going to start performing. I would like to play a jaunty little tune talking about how this is some of the best food that has been grown this side of Ravnica. But I don't want to make it overbearing. I just wanted it almost like lounge music.
Okay. Roll
Elevator
performance.
Not elevator music, lounge music.
I know, I'm just giving you grief.
And far over where we're standing in here. I can help with the business.
That would be a 24.
Okay. You happen to pull in.
Children. Who helped that one gentleman lose business?
That's why I said I can help gain him business because I can make other people lose theirs. It worked.
It did work.
I confused myself the whole time I was doing it. I had no idea where I was going with it.
As people walk around, you realize, besides the traveling merchants and travelers, it's mostly Boros soldiers. None of the Boros soldiers are interested. They look like meat and potatoes kind of people, and you can tell they're not interested in the Blue Man's plant-based food. However, you do, over the 5 minutes or so of playing your loot, you do pull in 4 different customers who browse the Veldalkin selection and end up making purchases.
Woohoo!
You want to pick up from that?
I'm just going to look at him and gauge his demeanor.
Gauging the demeanor of a Veldalkin is extraordinarily difficult. Roll insight.
Oh dear God. Okay, I can't use that die anymore. I have not put anything under a 16 on this die. That would be an 18.
Okay. Your brain is telling you that based on your interaction with people in general, he's probably a little satisfied, but his face does not convey satisfaction. It conveys the same level of contentedness as you first met.
Right. But the rest of his body language says that he's a little bit better demeanor?
You would say overall, comparatively, he is in a slightly more elevated type of mood.
Okay. And just kind of look over my shoulder as I'm continuing to play. Is this worth your while?
My friend, you have done me a service, and so I shall give you what you asked for. What would you like?
Just one small plate of food that I can take with me as I travel to Sunholm.
And he, without urgency, he continues to move back towards his cart, and he pulls a couple of steaming vegetable groups and some weird plant-based type of item you've never seen before. It's some sort of like algae type of seaweed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wrapped up in a roll. And
it's a Vidalkin egg roll.
It's steaming and hot, and he brings it to the cart, and he places it on the edge of the window to his
right.
And he doesn't give you any sort of come and get it. He just leaves it there and sort of looks the other way.
Now, I'm going to take that and then look at him and go, I would offer a thought if you'd have it.
Thinking is sort of what I do, but go ahead.
You seem to be the very calm and stoic type.
That's just how we tend to be. You run into any Veldalkin and they'll treat you the same.
And I don't mean any offense by this, but if you could give a little fanfare with your service, you might get people to return more often. Someone who is as stoic as you tends to be a bit more difficult to approach.
He's got RBF.
More or less.
You see what you could assume constitutes a Veldalkin smile starting to form.
It's like a lizard smiling.
Right?
Showing emotional status is a very difficult thing for us to achieve, but maybe I will do my best to show these type of emotions.
That little bit of a grin that you gave me there will go a long way when you hand the food to your customer and say thank you. And with that, I'm going to walk away.
You feel his demeanor start to get cold as you try to instruct him, and you walk away.
Okay. And I will start to munch on the Vidalcan egg roll.
As he walks away, I want to go up to the Vidalcan and speak in Vidalcan and say, man, these people from other planes are just weird, aren't they?
He silently agrees with you. He nods, and you know he has an understanding of what you said.
I run up.
Laugh.
I run up and I put like a couple pieces of chicken on Hans's plate.
You have added meat to your vegetable surprise.
You now have an eggplant salad, Caesar's chicken salad.
Right. And I will just munch on it.
So, actually, Katerina, as you see the food on his plate, you realize that this was probably food that was grown by the Simic, as they tend to grow aqueous types of food like algae and seaweed in what you know as what's called the Zodot. It is a large crater that leads very far down into water. It is one of the only aquatic surfaces in the city. And everybody, I'm going to show the map for a second, so if you want to look up.
Yep.
She's over there, she's like, shh.
So,
Just let it happen.
in the entire city map, this is the Zodot. And there's lots of like water mills, and it's kind of like a dam here, even though there's no water, but there's water flowing out. And this entire crater is just filled to a certain level, and it's clear water. If you can see far enough down, not that you guys are there, but you, Katerina and Zeke, you know the legends. If you can see far enough down, you can see the Simic down there. You can see buildings and villages and research labs far, far down in the water.
Oh, so it's the pit.
Yeah, but with more villages and buildings.
Instead of construction machinery.
Outstanding.
So, the Intrepid party has gotten some food. Excuse me. And they are on the way to Sunhome. And we will find out what happens next after we take a 30-minute break. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you very shortly.
Be right back.
Bye.
Hello, and welcome back. A little bit longer break than anticipated, but here we are. Dragons in the Dining Room, coming back from break. This is DM Repin, and we are playing Wanderers. And it's the adventure in Ravnica. And sorry I'm a little distracted because I need some caffeine in my life. I'm very tired right now. And I've got some tea brewing. So, okay. Or steeping, I should say.
Whatever.
Anyway, where we left off, our intrepid adventurers were heading down this long corridor that spreads from north to south across the entire 10th district through precinct 4 and 1, called the Transguild Promenade. It is a safe zone patrolled by Boros, and the guilds have agreed that there shall be no guild politics or business that occurs in the promenade of a vicious variety. No subterfuge, no extraordinary violence. It is like the sanctuary hotels in John Wick. So,
No reference.
what's that?
No reference.
Oh, well, you should watch John Wick. It's a very great series of movies.
If you want to see lots of people getting murdered, it's awesome. Great way to get aggression out.
Keanu Reeves in his prime. All right.
Wait, what do you mean in his prime? He's still in his prime.
Yeah, we'll use immortal. There's pictures. There's painted oil pictures of him all the way back to the 1670s.
He's like Dorian Gray.
Zeke, so you are leading them to Sunhome. You are on the Transfield Promenade. It'll take you about another hour through this this gateway-encrusted pathway until you reach Precinct 4, in which once you hit Precinct 4, it'll take you about another 20 minutes to get to Sunhome from the promenade.
You have to hold it up and show them.
Our hungry adventurers who hadn't eaten in over 24 hours found some food along the way, and Xanthip made a Veldakan friend ? Hey, you found your Jace.
That was your Christmas present from 2 Christmases ago?
Okay.
This makes me want to play again.
I need everybody to roll a d6.
A D6?
A d6. Let's see. 2 from Katarina. 4. Oh, a 1 from you.
Damn that!
Bad catnip.
And this is not very happy about having to go talk to this guy.
No, Nissa is currently not on good terms. From what you've gathered, Nissa is not on good terms with Jace.
Caleb, please sign the
Can I get your autograph? Will you sign my game, man? I'm a huge fan.
Really big, huge fan.
Go take it off the PlayStation. It does not need your fat butt on it.
Well, excuse me.
Stop it, you'll embarrass Ditter.
Huh?
Me?
Talking to Sinnoh.
What is he doing? I missed it.
Oh god.
Oh, I see. He's being sufficiently so. I get it.
Yep.
Okay, as you guys walk on the promenade, you see a human male who is in discussion with an elf, and the elf looks like he has his possessions on his back, in his backpack.
Let's stop. Huge.
Pouches hanging from his belt, and the human male he's wearing red and blue robes. Zeke, you'd recognize his garb as sort of a standard Izzet scientist. He sits there. He seems to be pondiffering on something, and he's going on and on, speaking in terms you understand, both that you understand and that you don't. And this elf looks bored to tears, but seems to be his more or less social captive at the moment. And they go on and on and on, and you guys are walking.
Okay. I'm gonna stop if I recognize any of the terms.
You hear Mizium, you hear electromagnetism, you hear he's going on and on about some sort of conductor, there's some sort of hyperconductor, and then it starts getting into terms you don't know, flimble, flamble, stuff like that. It's beyond your pay grade of knowledge. He starts talking about, you feel like he's talking about some sort of energy conductor that is being built in Mythics.
And you've stopped moving?
Yes, I stopped moving just to hear what he said. It has absolutely nothing to do with the division that I'm in, so I'm just going to completely ignore the guy, and as I'm passing, I'm going to look at the elf, and I'm going to give him the sign as I get behind him. I'm just going to be like,
The elf is not paying attention to you. He seems to be waiting for this man to either stop talking or die.
sucks to be him. Let's go.
Anybody else before you continue?
No, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. As you walk by, can I get a perception from everybody?
Where's my
19.
19.
9.
22.
12?
Galen, roll another d6.
3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. Zeke, this might get your attention too. As you continue walking, a different person is talking to another individual, and you hear a goblinoid speak up, and he's talking about something to do with the, is it sigil? And then you hear what catches your ear particularly, and everyone can hear this. He's like, I swear that I saw Niv Mizzet's head floating above Nivix last night. I don't know what that means. And he continues on into a sentence.
I immediately halt myself and immediately make myself very apparent to that goblin. Like, what'd you just say?
Hello, stranger. I was just saying, I swore I saw the head of Niv Mizzet above Nivix last night, but I can't be certain, I guess.
Like, out of the clouds, magically appeared, just deformed, like what?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like when he sends out a beacon, but I mean, nobody else seems to have saw it. Only I did.
Do you think maybe the beacon was for you to do something? What division are you from?
I'm.
Aha, I can give you the hard questions.
Well, he must be a subdivision.
A laboratory of pyrology.
Oh.
Ready?
Oh. Like, I was... oh.
Sorry, that was a huge squirrel moment.
He heard the word pyro, and suddenly Crowdy was there.
What division are you?
At the moment, he's the division of getting us to where we need to go because I'm tired of following him around.
Okay, with this tank,
I said, metallurgy, but,
Oh, what are you doing around here? You belong in the 10th. You belong over in 10th district.
I'm kidnapping these people and taking them back to, Roseric.
I wouldn't say the word kidnapping too loud. There's Boros everywhere, and you see guards sort of stop and look.
I look at them and I go, joking. Why can't... Jeez, everyone's so much a hard ass over here.
Boy, I wonder how that feels.
I look at him and I go, are you making a comment about my ass?
Can we keep
Get
moving?
away from me. Go. Anyway, blah, 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 blah.
Yes, I'm gonna now ignore him and be like,
I think he started ignoring you.
yes. And I'm like, sorry about that. Just weird. And then I explained to them that who Mizzet is pretty much to them.
Niv Mizzet is a ancient red dragon who is the guild master of the Izzet League. And he is very temperamental and very egotistical.
Does he have a strange loopy thing on his head?
No, that would be Nicol Bolus. Not a very friendly guy from what I understand.
Okay.
quiet way. Do you see him? He's like, I mean, if you could classify him, he's like douche.
Yeah, I think I saw him, but that's neither here nor there. We have a kidnapping to finish.
Yes, I will continue with the kidnapping. Not kidnapping.
Boros guards look at you again.
Joking. I just wanted to see if your necks actually moved. I just didn't know.
Some of them start to draw swords.
We're
And they look across the party. Are you in danger? He looks at Katerina and Kaylin.
There's no kidnapping. Don't listen to him. He just does not.
Andrest, you look like you can handle yourself.
Okay, fair.
The only thing we're in danger of is his stupidity.
The Boros grunt laughs and puts a sword away. And someone like a captain figure looks at you and says, I would really stop saying that word. This is a safe area.
I'm going to, like,
I am rolling for this.
I'm going to scruff Zeke
Okay, never mind.
and start moving him forward in the direction we
Just,
were
like,
originally heading.
Grab the back of the neck, like where the neck makes the skull. A really nice anchor point wherever the head moves, the body follows.
Like I said, I'm scruffing him.
Yep.
Don't touch me. Bad things happen if you touch me.
well. Then keep your metal behind moving.
We're going.
Otherwise, I will.
stop to sing some lullabies to that Veldarkin.
I was.
Get us in trouble. You're trying to get us freaking swords drawn on us.
I want to walk up to Zeke and whisper in his ear, "Are we there yet?"
I'm going to cast Create or Destroy Water and make it rain on her.
I don't care. I'm a monk. Doesn't matter to me.
You use the spell. Katerina jumps clear out of the way. And
How'd she go down? Just spell attempt to cast.
so the rain starts and she jumps out of the
I
rain.
jump out of the rain. I don't like water.
And
I'm not putting it over on someone else's head.
considering the fact you guys have been in Ravnica for about 2 days, it's been a gray sky the entire time. And you could tell Zeke cast the spell, but rain would not be out of the ordinary for the gray overcast that you've seen the entire time.
Except for the fact that it only rained on her.
Yeah, I mean it's a little localized, but I'm saying it's not like totally. It's still not totally shocking, but it is.
Speaking of shocking,
Yeah.
don't we have something to finish?
Yeah, you were so worried about being shocked again, yet you're the one.
Squirrel. And ooh,
You're the ones who needed to eat with your mouths.
I'm really sorry. I forgot to mention Xanthip and Andrest. You guys should be at 0 mana.
Oh, okay.
And ooh, water. I'm scared.
I am. I don't like water.
I know. I'm sorry. Not my fault.
Okay.
So we're still going to some home to return the horse, so then we can get back to my favorite person.
It will take about another 30 minutes of travel uninterrupted, unless you guys want to stop for anything or do anything.
Nope.
No.
I will take a d6 from Xanthip, from Katerina, and from Caitlin.
Two.
Great. The half hour goes uninterestingly as every other person nearby is not talking about anything big or walking away from you. It is easy traveling. You guys arrive, and it's familiar to all of you, maybe except for Katerina. The gates of Sunhome, the large wrought iron, iron red metal fist over the gateway with guards in front. Everyone's wearing nice crimson-plated armor, capes. It's very royal-looking, very regal, militaristic.
And we're back.
You are at the gates of Sunhome.
Why are we here?
We're just going to go up to the guards because they're going to stop me anyway. And I'm gonna be like, I'm literally returning the horse, and then I'm going back.
We'll take the horse.
Do you even know who?
Do you know who?
I explained to them the guy that I bought the horse from.
Does he have a name?
No, he doesn't have a name. He was just a guy at the gates of Sunholm that I bought a horse from. So
Okay.
I figured I would go out and find him because I could visualize seeing him and then return the horse.
We are not allowing his followers the time. You may leave the horse here.
I pull out my missive.
Let me look it over. Make it quick. Are all of your friends part of your league as well?
No.
Yes.
No.
But, okay, no, I'm not.
No.
They're not with me. I'm just escorting them to my boss.
And he starts looking for insignias. Does anybody have insignias?
Not that I'm showing.
I'm gonna let them know.
I do. I have one for the
Selesnya?
Lesnia.
He says the cat is allowed.
The only thing that Andros would have would be the symbol of Zelune.
That doesn't look like a guild symbol, so you're not part of a guild. You may pass too.
Oh wait.
So yes, I'm here to return this horse, and that's literally all I'm doing here. I don't really like here. It's kind of weird.
That is not the way to make, like, things happen in your favor. You know that, right?
I haven't done anything to these guys, and they're being mean to me because our guild did something bad, and it's just like, did I personally attack you? No.
Okay. You find the horse trader. He accepts the horse back, and you're moving on to Nivix, unless you guys do anything while you're in Sunholm. The entrance to Sunholm.
Do we happen to pass by the med tent that we visited at first?
That's deeper inside. You guys are in the front plaza of Sunholm in a courtyard.
Okay.
It is very keep-like, very barracks and keep-like.
Is there anybody that looks to be part of that facility walking around this area?
For you to identify Wojek, it's extremely difficult with your understanding of Boros.
Then I will ask. Is there a
Okay.
Wojek nearby?
I will look around the tournament.
Okay. How loudly? I mean, are you like yelling it? Are you just saying it?
I was going to talk to the nearest guard, nearest armored person.
Let's find out if there's Wojek nearby.
You say the nearest armored person, you literally look around and everyone's in armor.
Pretty much everyone's in armor at Boros. He looks around and he points out somebody wearing armored white robes. He's got leather strips and straps that are covering shoulder and breast.
I'm going to approach this Wojek. Excuse me.
Which guild are you part of?
None.
Oh, what can I do for you?
I had a companion that was brought to the Wojek the other day with a large object protruding from her chest. Are you aware of that?
Yes, the young one. Yes, she was here yesterday.
Okay. Would you be so kind as to let your fellow Wojek know that she is fine and walking about? And then I'm going to turn around and point at 9.
Hi. Oh, that is you, isn't it? How?
Long story, Nissa helped.
Nissa?
Yes, Nissa.
Nissa who?
A huge tree.
Nissa, the planeswalker from the Vidugazi.
Planeswalker? I know what Vidugazi is. There must be Selesnya, but I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm glad to hear that she's better.
Okay.
We can only do so much here. We're not nature clerics. We're just field medics.
I just wanted to pass it along so that the Wojek knew that their assistance was vital in bringing her back.
Well, I'll let the chapter know. Thanks for letting me know.
That's
Anything else?
the only thing I wanted to do was pass that message along.
Okay.
figure.
Anybody else while you're in Sunhome?
Nope.
Taking it aside.
It's very, very, again, it's militaristic barracks. It's very square, very stone, very, very castle-y, very keepy. There are several spires. There are smaller buildings, which there are just troops hanging out in. There's training grounds as you look around. There's lots of soldiers doing drills, hitting wooden training targets and firing bows, listening. There's drill commanders yelling. You're in a military base.
And I'm trying to exit it.
I'm gonna look at Katarina and quietly tell her, I like the tree better.
Me too.
Okay, you guys are uninterrupted as you leave Sunhome. Actually, so before you do leave Sunhome, Zeke, you recognize it may be better to just pass all the way through Sunhome, get back on the promenade, because the promenade goes through Sunhome, through the middle of it. So probably get back on the promenade, go through Sunhome, and then take an exit to go west towards Nivix. It'll probably take about 30 minutes.
Okay, I was like, yeah, because it wasn't too long for me to get from there to Sunhome the first time. So I'm just trying to explain to them that alright guys, we're going to head through town, then we're going to go to this really cool looking tower that sparks electricity all the time.
You guys cannot see it because of the walls of Sunhome being so tall, but if you look very hard enough, you can see some red energy in the distance floating into the sky.
And I look at them and I go, that's the way we're headed.
Lead on.
Woohoo!
Okay. Unless you guys are going to do anything, it takes about another 30 minutes of travel to reach Nivix. Anybody want to do anything, or do you want to describe what's going on?
Give us the montage.
Okay. You take the Transguild Promenade walkway for about another 10 minutes until you leave the south exit of Sunhome, to which there is a way off the promenade into a street. You start seeing lots of housing, some armorers, some blacksmiths. You've kind of entered an industrial area. There are some shops and some trades. You pass through a housing district. You pass by another smaller type of castle keep. It doesn't seem very impressive or designated. There's no flag or royalty there. It just seems like it was a battlement at some point in time. And now that you guys are in Precinct 4, there's no more nature. It's all construction, bricks, stone, concrete, mixtures of steel, iron, copper, hatched roofs, spire tops, a lot of red roofs, red ceilings, red brick. And as you guys start to approach, in the near distance, you guys can see this.
Oh, wow. Wow.
This is, as Zeke is eager to explain, Nivix, the home of the Izzet League. It is a 2-minute walk from where you are.
Is that our destination?
I look at them, I go, so that's where we're heading, and I'm going to answer the top three questions that always get answered. No, there are no death beams that shoot down and kill people from that. That's false. People get electrocuted because they choose to be electrocuted. Second,
Did you choose?
who said that?
Nobody.
That's
The
right.
DM did.
Secondly, it's not evil. We just like to work there. Third, I actually hate this place. So I want to get in and get out and go back to my lab because hate this place.
All right.
It's not evil, but I hate it.
Let's get this kidnapping over with.
Yay, kidnap. Wait, I can't say that anymore. I'll get in trouble. Okay.
There are far less Boros guards as you've entered Izzet territory, and now you see a lot less Boros guards and a lot more robed individuals.
Okay.
Ranging from humans, goblins, some more Veldalkin, the blue-skinned fellows. Different jobs apparently. A lot of them have magical items, so like wands and staves, and there are a couple of fighters. You see swords of different lengths, shields. And they all seem to be going their ways. Nobody's really stopping and paying attention to anybody since you all kind of blend in, except for Katerina, which she gets an eye or two here or there. Yeah, without further ado, unless anybody wants to do anything while you're here, you enter the lobby of Nivix.
Other than mumbling under my breath, it's still weird to see goblins working.
Kaylin or Xantha, do you want to comment on that?
Nope. I'm just taking in the sights. I'm trying to learn as much as I can.
Took some getting used to.
Is it the same person that I chatted with when I walked in here the first time?
No, the receptionist has changed since yesterday, and also, a note to anybody really looking around. It seems to be darkest from this area, from the storm that seems to be always present. It seems to be thickest in this area. Like it, you know how it could be midday dark when the clouds are thick enough?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's now midday dark,
Okay,
even though you know the sun's up.
So does it seem like it's emanating from this place, maybe?
No, it just you couldn't tell that for sure. It just happens to be. It's very thick here.
Crabby, 4 C's.
It's 4 feet thick.
It's 4 C's.
You can barely see the sky from where you're at. It's eerily not to make the connection, but it's eerily like where you guys went to. With how it's not moonlight dark, but it's midday dark.
It's we have a good thunderstorm coming in.
Yeah, a real good thunderstorm. And speaking of, why doesn't everybody give me a perception check?
I want thunderstorm. Why is it now that I roll amazing?
20.
23.
Oh, you keep didn't come through. You must not be in Zoom.
1, 2, 1.
25.
Jeez. Kaylin? Okay.
Somebody rolled under 20.
Kaylin is not necessarily looking in the sky, as the 4 of you happen to just catch at the same time. Similar to when you guys first got here, there is a strike of cloud-to-cloud lightning that stretches about half a mile, and it points northeast. And I'm sorry, can I get your scores one more time? I forgot who had the highest.
Not me.
We have 25?
25.
Okay. Andrast, when you look through the clouds, you can see, when you see that lightning strike, that cloud-to-cloud strike, you can see at different sections of cloud. As you stare at that section, you can see it swiftly moves, like it got pushed by something in the air. And you're fairly certain you can see a flap of a wing, and then it's gone.
What kind of wing?
It looked leathery.
Leathery? Like a dragon wing type?
With all the technology here, you're not sure. I mean, it looked what you would assume from what you've seen and heard. It would look scaly and leathery.
It's a pterodon.
Yeah.
You can't tell color from here, especially with it being so dark, but you can see it was some sort of wing shape.
Dark vision?
Yeah, I mean, it's miles and miles and miles in the sky and into the distance, but yes.
I mean, dark vision's only 60 feet now.
It's not Mirren's eyes.
No.
Okay. Do you want to comment on that or no?
I will point it out and see if anybody else saw it.
I think whatever you ate isn't agreeing with you.
Yeah, whatever, Xantha.
I'm just gonna tell her. I'm just like, well, if I was like, well, I mean, Guildmaster is a red dragon. I want to meet him. He seems like he's a really cool dude.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibilities, considering this world.
Cow!
Another. I think that's the same cow.
Tabby, that is like literally one of my favorite movies.
Same.
My dad and I used to watch that all the time.
You guys enter Nivix, and it is chaotically beautiful. It is not arranged in a very satisfying manner. Things seem to be everywhere, but it is well constructed. It is not just cobblestone upon cobblestone. It looks like a misshaped Sistine Chapel. You know, it's very well defined. Some areas are lower than the other. It's OCD nightmare, but it is not constructed with haste. It is constructed without design in mind.
For
So
purpose,
it's
not
like,
aesthetic.
It is well constructed, but not aesthetically pleasing.
It's Los Angeles versus Washington, D.C. Whereas Washington, D.C. is like all nicely laid out and planned. Los Angeles is kind of just a CF of buildings.
It seems to have been built upon and upon and upon.
Okay.
So where are we going?
We, my friend, are going up.
Lead the way.
Oh, and then I look at him and I go, have any of you actually rode an elevator?
A what?
The term is unfamiliar to all of you.
We're going to get into a box. This box is going to lift us up to a certain floor in this tower.
Do you have
Just want
gnomes
to make
here?
sure that you don't go sorcery and then try to blow your way out of it.
We deal with sorcery. She's a sorceress.
Hi.
She also likes horses, from what I understand.
So,
Where are we?
Actually, can we sit?
the six of you will be close.
We can fit in it, no problem.
I'll take the next one.
We can fit in it, no problem. Please don't separate.
Okay.
A dinging noise, which catches everybody but Zeke off guard. The doors split apart, and they go, and there is a metallic carriage waiting for you.
You sure?
I ride in these things all the time.
I'm gonna stride right in.
So, as you stride in, you realize that you leave solid ground for a moment, and as your foot hits the carriage, you can feel the ever so faint jiggle of it as it's uncertain ground.
And then I'm gonna bounce a little bit.
And it goes up and down with your bouncing slightly.
It's not falling. We should be okay.
Okay.
Alright.
I assume Kaylin, Andras, Katarina are going to follow.
Yeah.
9 is a bit reluctant.
Here, 9. Hold my hand. I don't like this either.
Okay. This isn't going to kill us, is it?
Yeah.
I've already been there once, apparently.
I'll step in last, and as the doors close, and I go, welcome to... Just kidding. We're gonna go. And I press the button.
Which button?
4th floor.
All of them.
We went to a specific floor on episode 1.
4th floor.
Do you know how tired I was when we did that?
Do you know how tired I am right now?
Fuck, so tired I am right now. I'm gonna press a button that says Rouse Zarek's floor.
You do not find a button that says Rouse Zarek's floor.
Floor 34.
You can make a wisdom check.
Well, investigation, right?
Well, the buttons have numbers on them. You can investigate the numbers.
I open the elevator door and go, what floor is Rouse Zarek on?
84.
I knew there was a floor somewhere.
I was close.
Door button. Then go up.
Okay. You ascend to the 84th floor, and it is. I need everybody else to make a dex save. You don't need to. You're familiar with how elevators work.
Ants, do you want me to roll your dex save?
23.
12.
12.
I can
Kaylin.
do 9.
Andras.
She got a 15.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for 9. Oh boy. Okay. So, Katarina, yours was 20, you said?
23.
23? Okay. Katarina, your cat-like reflexes are prepared for the floor to dip down quickly and then start rising. And, Zeke, you're very familiar with this. Xanthip, this is very strange very quickly. You're not used to this feeling. You sort of buckle for a second, but you grab a handrail and you're good.
Right.
What was Andras? I'm sorry?
15.
Andras, too, she finds off guard for a second, but she also catches on. 9 and Kaylin, you are holding each other's hands. The both of you happen to collapse onto your buttocks as that force catches you completely off guard and knocks you down.
I love it.
The both of you find against yourselves against the steely wall of the carriage.
I'm just gonna sit there till we're done writing on this stupid thing. I don't like this.
I look down at them and I go, and just smile and then wait for the elevator to open up.
It takes 30 seconds, and then the feeling of that stomach lurching going, the opposite direction of the way you're going, it is intense for the four of you who have never ridden this before. You rise to the 84th floor, and this hallway is familiar to you, Zeke, as the doors part again.
I get slightly nauseous.
Probably. You can see the cat turning. You can see the cat turning green.
Me as a person, I'm not a fan of elevators.
Me neither.
I'd rather use an escalator.
Same here, I get super sick. I'm gonna open the door and I'm gonna go, beep, beep. It's a death this way. That's a joke. And lead this way. Lead the way.
Okay. You approach the doorway of Raul Zarek's office that you were familiar with. The door is closed.
Hey! Knock, knock, knock.
There is no answer.
What
There's
the?
no reception, no nothing, just his office door closed.
There is somebody nearby the door. There is a small desk that they're sitting at. It does seem like an assistant receptionist.
I look over at him and I go,
Her.
so, I look over at her and go, so you just let a complete stranger knock on this door that is closed.
I've seen you before. You were here yesterday.
And the door is closed. Why?
Give him a minute. He's in a meeting. It's none of your freaking business.
Well, I was on this super urgent mission to get these people right here up to see him. And
Then why don't you knock on the door again?
I'm not gonna know.
And you hear shouting, and it's Raul's voice. It's muffled because he's beyond the door, and he says, "You better stop knocking, whoever you are."
Hey, it's your favorite pal, and I brought back the people that you wanted to see.
hang on. You didn't hear happiness in his voice.
I immediately cast invisibility on myself.
What the?
You guys see the metal man start flinging his hands around and he's gone.
What the?
And I go, I'm still here.
Product's here.
And I walk away
Wanted to meet
so
us.
the group is in front.
Xanthic, are you trying to do something?
Yeah, trying to find him.
Just for the sake of it, roll to hit. You're not trying to hit him, but just roll to hit.
I'm trying to hit him.
It's like that knife incident in Salt Marsh.
19.
Andros is trying to hit him. What, Ange? I'm gonna try to hit him too.
All I'm trying to do is find him.
I would say with a 2 hit of 19, you do happen to feel him.
Okay.
I have an AC of 19.
So wouldn't that be a deflection? Okay, no, it would be deflection. He touches you. He can feel you.
Seeing that Xanthip kind of bounced off him, I'm aiming for that spot.
Don't.
Why?
Don't.
Fine.
Oh, hey, it is feederable. Oh, and also we have a search to account for.
Oh,
once, 'cause we
yes.
cast invisibility.
Yes.
Oh, it was right next to 20. It was right next to 20, but it wasn't.
Go ahead and roll your...
I'm not going to get the special dice out. I'm just going to do it the other way. So when you cast invisibility... All right, Joe. 6013.
Didn't that have gone off with him casting Create Water?
Technically, but the DM forgot, so it's happening now.
Okay, that's fine.
It's either way, it's still him.
I'd laugh if he started glowing.
I am going to text this to you
Okay.
because you'll have to figure out how you want to do it.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
We will deal with that when that happens. How long was that, by the way?
That's up to you.
Okay. All right. The door opens somewhat angrily, and 4 robed humans are trying to push their way through. Is anybody in front of the door?
No,
Okay.
because my hand is on him. I'd be away from the door because he walked away.
They shuffle out, just not even paying attention to the 5 of you in the hallway. And they keep their gaze to themselves, and they start walking out. And you guys see, I've shown you a picture of Valor before, right?
Yep.
It's on Discord too. But just in case, I will do it one more time. You guys, obviously it's not this intense right yet, but you see this individual, salt and pepper, white and black, or
Down.
gray
There you
hair,
go.
got a lightning majiggy on his back, and my screen's reflecting on it.
He's handsome.
Very dashing, very full of himself, and he approaches. He looks around and he goes, "Who are a lot of you?"
We're the ones that were kidnapped to come visit you by your metal man.
Metal man.
And then I'm going to cast
his
this.
face turns sour.
And then I'm going to cast.
He looks around. He's like, "Where is he?"
I'm going to cast Dispel Magic.
Your invisibility fades. For Dispel Magic?
Anything?
Can
What
you do
level?
Dispel Magic for me?
What level is invisibility?
You aren't talking in your mic.
Level 2.
Then it's dispelled.
Because the spell is 3 or higher. Or 3 or lesser, I mean.
Correct.
There's something in your lap. I must have tasted this mean.
Hold on, please.
Oh god.
Any spell under level 3 is automatically dispelled. Any spell level 4 or higher, I have to roll 10 plus the spell level.
Are you sure he's green and not blue?
Here you go.
As it says, choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. If you can't see me, how can you cast it upon me?
Because my hand is on you, so I'm casting it against the invisibility spell.
I thought I deflected, therefore you would not know.
If it were a 2-hit scenario, his hand would have bounced off of you. He can feel you. He would have done no damage.
I would have surely moved if his hand would have touched me.
And
I'm going to
it,
say the spell fires because he knows where you're at.
Butthead, lay down. God.
Your invisibility fades. And, so he does not look the same as before he went into invisibility. As his figure comes back into person, he looks exactly like a court jester. He has the pointed hat and the poofy arm pads and the silly like skirt and stuff with like little bells.
That's more fitting.
You have no idea how this happened.
I look down at myself and I go, "Oh, you think you're funny?
that wasn't me.
Oh, I just magically turned into this outfit as you touched me?"
Yes.
I think it's hilarious.
Me too.
As you gesture with your arms and body, you can hear tiny jingles.
That just makes me giggle even more.
However, you see Ral, who had a fierce look of anger on his face. Suddenly, he's a little more lighthearted as he catches eye with you, Zeke, and look at me for a second. Like it's a face of, and he goes,
It might have been a good thing.
He may not kill you.
"What are you? I didn't ask you to bring them here. I asked you to get information and bring that back to me."
Well,
Yeah, see, it's easier if you bring someone the information than...
He looks around as you're talking. Go ahead. You were muted.
Oh, no, it's easier to get the information straight from the horse's mouth.
He ushers everybody inside, and it seems like he's urgent about it.
I will walk in.
I'll follow.
Kaylin, Andrest, he's
Yeah.
looking at you. Okay, and 9 follows Santa. And he shuts the door kind of quickly, but not loudly. And he goes, "I'm sorry about this. I just wanted information, but..."
From the horse's mouth, as it were.
Are you... This is hard for me to ask. Had anything weird happened with the lot of you recently? Any trips to, let's say, extraplanar dimensions?
We came from an extraplanar dimension.
See. What about... And he scans the room, he looks at the cat. What about you?
Not me. Well,
No.
not recently.
Not recent? Oh. Okay. And he looks to Kaylin and Andrast and...
We're not originally from here, but I haven't done anything like that since.
And what about you? He points to the elf Andrast.
Well, Xanthip and I just got back from, what was it called? Blind Eternities?
Ivolus. Oh, yeah.
Blind Eternities. Then you are a planeswalker. And what about... He looks back at Xanthip. Is that where you were too?
I suppose yes.
And Nine looks a little bit reserved, and he looks at Nine.
She was just recently dead. We saved her soul.
Her soul? You believe in soul?
No, I know in souls. We saved it from the grave walker thing.
What you saved was her spark, not a soul.
Whatever you want to call it.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, well...
I'm just gonna rest it on you then if you're gonna come.
Well, welcome to Nivix. This is my territory.
Why are you so curious?
Because I asked him to bring details, not the people, and I'm not sure where to go from here. Okay. Planeswalkers are a sort of unknown quantity, okay? I'm studying them because as you may have heard, this city was recently adjoined to the multiverse as we know it. Suddenly a whole new existence became aware to us. So I'm trying to figure out who all has the power to change that. Because they pose serious threats to the city. And I just want to know that you guys are not threats.
I'm trying to...
intentions on harming anyone.
I'm just trying to find a way to survive.
Zeke, your jester attire starts to dissipate and fall off of you into nothingness. And he said, was that an illusion spell or what? Why did you look like that?
He touched me. Ask him.
All I did was dispel the invisibility he cast on himself.
Somehow or another, you looked like a jester, and that was ridiculous.
That was funny.
It was hilarious.
It was quite amusing.
I looked at him and I go, again, he touched me. I was invisible.
He said you were going to shock him. Could you do that for me?
Please?
He didn't do as I asked originally, but I'm not going to shock him.
Oh.
I summon my cannon and go. And I look right at Xanthan and I go, touch me. I dare you.
I already did.
I want to poke him.
Now, when you start getting, like, militantly defensive, Ral does start to shift his body language, and he said, I wasn't going to zap you, but if you're going to make a fight out of this, we can start and end it.
Look at him and I go, he's the one being a censor for stream.
Children. It's not the place to be children. Let's go. Okay. Well, that just means that the research I've done is correct. I was able to detect 3 planeswalkers, and I can see the 3 of them here in front of me that aren't Jace, Nissa, Teferi, or other planeswalkers that I know of.
Fairy.
Teferi.
Out of character, you recognize him from the beginning. Because Jace yelled his name.
Yes.
Teferi? What do you care about Teferi? He's some pacifist nonsense.
It seems like you planeswalkers folks don't get along.
Well, some of them do. They're called Gatewatch. They think they're saving the multiverse from ancient threats.
You mean that guy named Jace is one of those gate protector thingies?
Yeah, Gatewatch is Jace's grand idea. It keeps him outside the city longer than we want. He's supposed to be here in Ravnica because the Guild Pact relies on him being here, and I know that when he's not here, I'm aware of it. Not all their guild leaders are, and if they were, this place would be in flames by now.
What does he do?
He is imbued with a magical energy that's tens of thousands of years old that keeps the guilds at peace with each other. He is the walking, living adjudicator of the law. If he says something, if he wants something to become law, all he has to do is speak it into existence.
Cool.
So it would be best to be on his good side, even though we've not always gotten along. Suddenly the word Sid reminds you, yeah. You're reminded of the word Sid.
We ran into somebody like that once. He wound up being our friend in the end.
Where is that person now?
Dead.
Dead.
Probably. No, he's not dead.
You guys know where he is. Well, actually, wait.
I don't think we do.
Who was related to Sid? Was that...
Lure.
Oh, that's right, okay. Allure would know what happened to Sid, but
She's not here.
you guys don't know where Allure is at.
No.
Yes, we do. Xantha eaters.
Xanthic consumed Allure.
We'll find her in a couple of hours. She's got a process.
Oh,
Oh god, ew.
I spent some days making diapers, okay? There's much worse that I could think of to say.
We're not sure what happened to the world we came from. It could be destroyed, or it could have finally taken its own path.
It could be just... You destroyed a world?
Potentially.
no, it wasn't a world. It was more like a shadow of a world, a pocket dimension almost.
You destroyed... Okay, well that's a lot more reasonable than destroying a whole world. That would put you in a very small company that I know of.
I believe it was mostly an illusion.
None of that came through.
I said, see, this is why I brought them to you. Because they said stuff like this, and I'm like, what?
Well, very well. I will also honor my promise to you, but we'll talk about that when we're done here. Do you have any questions for me, I suppose? I don't want to keep you long. I'm sure you guys have a lot to do, but...
We have no way to know where to start. This is our second day here, and we've already been bounced around from plane to plane to plane.
It must be all very exciting, and you can give me an insight. You need to roll exceptionally high on this. I shouldn't say that before you finish your roll, because I can't tell what your roll actually is.
My roll was a 9.
You don't detect anything different about the way he said that. He said that all must be very exciting.
I don't think exciting is the word I would use.
So what are you guys going to do?
Well, I need to find some way of making a living.
Same.
Isn't League could hire you? You just need to be technically minded.
That is
We have
not my
several-
gambit.
We have several divisions.
That's not so much my gambit. I'm not much for technology.
I am a priestess of Sambune, not a priestess of Gond. I am not of the technical mind.
I'm gonna look down at my monk clothes and be like, I'm not tech savvy at all.
We're in the wrong company here.
We have about 8 different laboratories, which we call a whole division. And he points to Zeke. This one's in metallurgy, but we have pyrology, storms and electricity, metallurgy, alchemy, orientation, mimeography, continuism, and arcane geometry.
9 might find storms fun to study.
Yeah, when the word storms is mentioned, 9 sort of lights up, and he goes, "Oh, does that interest you?"
She lights up.
And she,
Floats.
maybe. What is it? And he goes, "Well, those are scientists that study and control weather, containing, conducting electrical energy. They helped build this thing." He points to his back, where that giant. It's a color that you haven't seen in a metal before. It's both. It is both a mixture of golden and bronze. It is a metal that you've only ever seen on part of Zeke. part of his arm is also that mixture of golden and bronze. This entire giant glass battery on his back with lightning arcing in between it is cool to behold, and it's got a tube that connects to his arm that also has a bunch of blue energy inside of it, like an arm piece, a gauntlet. And he says this was partially built at the Laboratory of Storms and Electricity.
Storms and electricity come to her naturally.
But Nine's like, well, don't know if this is what I want to do. He said, you have plenty of time to consider. You need to think about it. Maybe you'll enjoy it. And he looks over. If none of you want to join the League,
I am going to leave myself open at the moment.
he looks at Katerina. Do you have your symbol visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Selesnya. Boring. What about, he looks to Kaelin and Andrast.
I don't like your metal boxes that move.
Then there's no place here for you. What about you, Elf? Kaelin. Or, I'm sorry, Andrast. I meant to say Andrast.
I am inclined to learn more about the city and how it works before I consign myself to a specific guild. Very high up.
If it helps at all, I can give you a small rundown of how I view the guilds. He looks at all of you while he's talking.
Go for it.
Sure. More information, the better.
Krabby just wants to get in on the section.
The pyrology.
Pyrology.
Is there an internship?
Well, you won't find a guild more intelligent than the Izzet League. All the other guilds are slow and dull, lacking in the spirit of inquiry. Azorius, they're regulators. They create regulations for everything, including freedom. They lead dull and shackled lives. The Boros, all too often, they're on the verge of setting off a little explosion or a little spell, and it could tear a hole in reality, and the Boros will show up to ruin all of that, everything we try to do. Demir, House Demir, the less we see of them, the more we know they're onto us. They are spies and they are stealthy, and you want nothing to do with them. Golgari, they keep to themselves and they help clean up our messes. We appreciate what they do. As long as they stay out of sight, it's hard to view them as a threat. The Gruul, they are better at destruction than we are, inadvertently. Orzhov, progress means taking risks. When you gamble with the Orzhov, you always wager more than just money. They have been known to bind contracts to people beyond death, and it's an unpleasant fate that you can never escape from. The Rakdos, you want to steer clear of them. They are senseless riot fiends. Their enthusiasm is best appreciated from a distance, a very far distance. You are likely to end up dead as you are to be amazed by their sideshows. The Selesnya, and he sort of looks at Katerina, and you can feel like he's biting his tongue slightly. They're a little zealous. They run with the beasts and worship figments of the past. They would be wiser if they embraced the wonders of the future and the Izzet. And the Simic, they're almost as inventive as we are, but their creations are by the numbers, and they lack the spice of life, the soul and the fire that we put into things. They tinker with life, but they lack the inspiration to breathe true spirit into their inventions.
Interesting.
So you have a loaded description of all other 9 guilds, and the Izzet League is the best and kindest and brightest that you'll see.
We will take your words into advisement.
I see a funny look on Katharina's face. Like a cat like a cat about to sneeze.
Yeah.
You can tell that Ral's sort of darting his eye away from Katarina.
I'm just like looking from him and then back to Zeke and back to him and back to Zeke as he says they're the brightest and
I look at her as I see her doing this, and I'm just like, look, I like to tinker with things. That's why I'm here.
You get in trouble for it too.
Yeah, but look, and then I hold out my Eldritch Cannon in my tiny little hand, and I go, well, look at this thing, it's so awesome.
That side of Zeke's body is made of the same golden bronze mix that Ral's back piece is made out of.
Oh. Huh. Are you guys do you all have metal components on you?
Ral's back is not made of metal, it's that tube, that golden bronze tube with the lightning inside. Yeah.
I mean, and that's just kind of how she's like, how I'm stating it. Just like, do you all have some sort of metal component on you all the time? Whether you're made of metal or just carrying it?
Typically, it's called Mysium. It's an invention. It's got mystical properties, and it's very weird, just like everything else we do here.
Cool.
It's very sturdy at certain times and certain days, and sometimes it is almost liquid in nature. Yes, it is very, very the embracement of chaotic energy. And he looks to all of you again, and he says, "It seems the middleman is the only one with any sense of agency here. He's the only one who's decided the right path in the city. But if you guys change your mind, we're always hiring new researchers."
Again,
I will definitely keep that in mind.
yes. In the meantime, I have to talk to a man about some coin.
Coin, that's boring. The other guilds handle coin. We don't need money.
It is something that I find intriguing.
Okay, well, unless there's anything else I can do for you, I'm very busy. Oh, by the way, did I mention our guild's led by a dragon? Does that improve any? Does anybody like working for dragons?
Does your dragon have a big loop over his head?
When you say that, you can tell his demeanor shifts immediately. And he sort of gives you a sideways look, and he says, "Loop, can you describe that a little more, please?"
Giant dragon, crazy looking horns that look more like a hula hoop than it does horns.
Where did you see this dragon you claim to have seen?
Traveling between the...
Of course. The Eternities is where he was.
Yeah, that word.
And he gives you... He's no longer in ego mode. He's no longer in boasting mode. It is the most serious that you or Zeke have seen him. And he says, "If you ever see him, do not trust that dragon.
Good to know.
He is very dangerous, but only if prompted to be."
Thank you for the heads up.
If you'll excuse me, I will ask you all to leave, except for Zeke for a moment.
Be well.
Okay.
And I walk
Xanthipp
out.
exits.
I'll bring 9 with me.
I'll follow.
Following. Yep, following.
Oh, before they leave, I'm going to use my talents to pull out my tools, and I'm going to quickly draw a cartographer's map of where I live. Like a detailed description of like, you go here, here. This is where I'm at. Boop. And I go, here you go, just in case.
And you give it to Xanthipp, I guess.
Xanthipp.
Okay. Xanthipp, you have a makeshift map of where
I will roll it up and stuff it in my pack.
Kalen and Andrast are still in the room with Rel, and he's staring at you. Without further ado,
I'm leaving.
Yeah, I said I was gonna go with.
oh, sorry. Okay, the two of you leave his room, and he holds Zeke back for a second, and he said, "Anybody who wants to," he's talking quietly to Zeke. If you want to try to overhear what they're talking about, roll perception, and I'll get to you. Don't shout your number out. Unless you succeed in this roll, you don't hear this. He says, "You didn't quite do as I asked, but you still got me a lot of information I was looking for. I hereby declare you the rank of researcher. You now have 4 renown."
I go, yes! One step closer to meeting Bossman.
You have advanced the guild's interests and my interests. You are now in a position where you can conduct experiments yourself. Open your mic. You still not? Make sure you zoom.
Hello, testing.
Yes.
I had to unmute myself, mute myself again for some reason. Alright, anyway, I go, yes. Wait, I kinda already made this, and I got point at my Eldritch Cannon.
And you came with that, though. And your goblin mentor helped you fix it. As a researcher, you can now request equipment for use, and you can secure the aid of 1d4 barely competent attendants to assist you. They are considered commoners as stat blocks. You can create your own Mizium apparatus. We'll talk about that. Not your arm. You have to spend 10 days to do so. So we'll go over a few of those things. But you are now ranked up with the Izzet. You are now rank 1 researcher with 4 renown. Anybody who was trying to overhear? Xanthid, were you trying?
Not really, but I have a passive of 19.
You heard bits and pieces. It sounds like he got promoted. Katarina?
21.
Again, you understand. You don't understand all of it, but you understand Zeke was promoted. Kaylin Andrast?
I was not trying to overhear.
No, I wasn't.
Okay. The two of you trying to overhear, or at least had overheard, it sounds like Rao was somewhat pleased with Zeke's performance. Okay, and he pushes Zeke out of the door and closes it. Anything else before we end for the night? Does anybody want to do anything?
Nope. Not in the immediate moment.
I'm going to bed even though I don't need sleep time.
Okay.
I don't really. I'm not.
You guys are still in the hallway of Nivix, the 84th floor.
It would be the act of leaving is what I'm working on.
Okay. Everybody else getting out of here?
Yep.
Okay. We will pick up next time. If we do Wanders again the next 2 weeks, I want to quickly talk about that. I know Loxie wants to finish Strahd. She's ready. But she wants to wait for the current crisis to end in our world. She wants everyone to be in one place, and I totally agree with that. So,
Especially for the end.
yeah, so I believe 2 weeks from now we'll still be in lockdown. So,
Yep.
the plan is Wanderers on the next Wanderers Strahd slot. And thank you to Syrinscape for the music during break, which I guess didn't fire.
For some reason.
Anybody want to say anything else? Otherwise,
We will be, one real quick thing. We will be announcing definitive dates for DCC for our group. But as you saw on break, there will be the first team running on the 23rd by TT2KB. If you guys are going to watch, Do not talk about what happened in other streams if you watch somebody else. Leave the surprise for the players. Don't talk about it in chat.
Not to mention that could potentially screw us over.
Yep, it is a tournament, so you want to keep it quiet and just let us try and figure it out.
Okay, we'll announce more DCC information. Otherwise, Saturday is Lorimir.
Lorimir.
And Sunday will be Mad Mage. Or not Mad Yeah, Mad Mage.
Mad Mage.
Mad Mage. Yeah, because Mad Mage is on the same weekend as Lorimir.
Yep, this is my weekend on my next weekend's weekend off, so.
Yep.
Okay, we will see you all Saturday for Lorimir.
All right. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Take care.
Bye.